Hello, hi there, gorgeous, lovely Libras. Thanks so very much for choosing me to give you your love forecast for March 2017. And if you haven't used me before, how I work is I work with my spirit guides, so different from other readers that you might find on YouTube, because that's how I work. And if you don't know anything about me, just look at the links below and you'll learn about me and my services, or perhaps join me in my Facebook community. So, just to start off, right straight in there when it comes to what's happening for you in March when it comes to love. Right, there's two elements that's coming across from what my guides are saying here. They're saying here there is a need in the first week from some of you to kind of want to hold emotions at a really stable place, because it feels like perhaps somebody else around you is feeling extra emotional and needs you to be grounded for them. So with that being said, I think you do it very, very well, because Libras are very, very balanced people, hence the scales situation. But it feels to me that by you remaining calm, despite the person that you are connected to when it comes to matters of the heart, it feels to me that by you being yourself, very grounded, very balanced, will help them to simmer down easier. Because what it is they're emotional about is not necessarily about you, it's about other things that are around them. So by you being grounded in that kind of way really is appreciated. For some of you, this translates this way, that actually you are not giving your emotions to somebody, that actually you're holding on to your emotions and not revealing them, and that is very triggering then for somebody else. And it's definitely the reason why they're emotional, because you're not actually giving to them, you're stonewalling them basically. So if that's you, be mindful that actually that is harming your connection, and that actually just by you giving even a little bit of your love greatly dims down that heightenedness from that other person. So two different ways for Libras, depending on the connection that you have and the circumstances that you have in your connection too. In the second week, and this is what I like about you. So for most of you, I think the first thing would have applied in terms of that calmness and you being balanced, because it feels to me that then you give a lot of nurturing into that connection. A lot of nurturing. Again, there's a very heavy theme about you needing to be there for somebody else because somebody else is not coping with something very, very well. But you do it again in a marvellous way, as Leos do. I get you nurturing. I get, for some of you as well, this is a time around talks around sort of growth and nurturing and sowing seeds and all that stuff that we talked about, particularly at the beginning of the year for some of you, around fertility and expansion of families and things like that. There's also that kind of element going on in terms of you sort of having discussions about that kind of thing. But there's also, I just get to hear that you are just very carefully, very considerately, with focus and very well thought out, know exactly to say and do the right type of thing in order to make somebody else that you are connected to feel better. If they feel better, you feel better, the relationship is better, basically. So there's a lot of you giving, I feel, mostly at this month. Because again, whoever it is you're connected to seems to need that from you because of other stuff that's going on outside. Like I said, there's a small number actually where it is actually you, particularly in the first week, that was holding back as to why they needed it. But again, by you giving that, seems to really help them to just feel like they've got some direction, basically, that they've got some hope, that they can trust. Because sometimes when we have too many things that upset us, particularly if it's outside a connection, it can make us then view the connection that we have as somehow wrong too. But by you being stable and firm and nurturing and all that kind of stuff, it makes them feel that at least that one area of their life is fine. It's fine. So well done, is what I want to say. And then, like, because you bring that balance, and then because you and your other person that you are connected to feels secure and happy, it feels like you can both make some plans. And because we're shifting again, we're coming into spring, particularly if you're in the northern hemisphere, but it doesn't matter, even if you're in the southern hemisphere, you're a change of season. And with that comes new choice, new life, new vigor, new everything. And I get you with that person again, to help boost your connection, but to boost their morale in particular, you making lots of different plans about what should we do with money, where should we go on holiday, what should we do this, should we do that, activities, activity-based date nights, things that you do together, but lots of things, not just one thing, which spark spontaneous stuff, excitement in your connection. So you're not just suggesting things for the sake of it to completely please that person, you're doing it also for yourself, because you recognise in order to have that healthy connection, it needs to be filled with those sort of things, if that makes sense. So again, you do that successfully. You're the leader in this aspect. You're the one helping to bring that to the table in this connection that you have with somebody. Long term, short term, doesn't matter. You keep getting it right, basically. Now, so there's two things, because I feel for most of you, you get it so right that at the end of the month, you'll just feel like the king of your castle, basically. You'll be like, yep, I got this, brownie points for me, I did the commitment and the duty that I should be doing in this connection in a really good, solid, healthy way. That's good for me and the other person. You're feeling good and you're feeling really proud of yourself, as you should be, quite frankly. And there's a small number of you, and I don't know why, and I do know that for some Libras that I've looked at over the last few months, there has been this need to, there has been a repetitive thing about you holding, not, giving so much and then retreating and retracting it back in because of the need to have the focus on other things. For a small number of you, there is that element that then you've done all this good work and then you suddenly, and they're not being specific why, withdraw your affection. It's almost like, well, I've given you enough now. You don't need any more. Why do you need any more? I should have this brownies point like other Libras are feeling. I should be like the king of the castle. Why you not treat me like that? And because you're not treating me like that, I'm going to retreat back in to my own little world and my shell and not give you anything because you don't deserve it, basically. Try not to be like that, because you have built up some good work. And for whatever reason, it may be getting a small percentage of you to think that way. It feels from the other person's energy that you've got to remember that they were going through an emotional time that you helped lift. But things like that just don't go overnight, if that makes sense. So perhaps they are still, in their own way, displaying some of that may be triggering for you. Remember the pattern. When you act that way, actually exasperates it. So when you give in, better. Happy you, happy them. When you don't, miserable you, miserable them. You got the decision, you've got the choice about which one you want to be. Do you want to be happy? Do you want to be miserable? A lot of it comes from you, and I know that feels a bit unfair because relationships are give and take, but in that month, in that moment, you are the king of the castle. You are leading. You are bringing the balance. You are in control of how that happens in a very effective way. So take the lead. Bring yourself happiness and also the person that you're with. So I do hope that that's helped and that's resonated with some of you. Do like to subscribe, do share. I do hope that's helped to give you an insight into the month of March for you when it comes to your love life. And I've been better, and I hope you have a fabulous March. Take care. Bye-bye.